Hi, this is Sandy,
And this is Trina.
and we are here today to talk about something that I think we all can relate.
Well, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
And so, really what we want to just touch on is we had an experience, and, we always try to bring and share with you our experiences. And one of the experiences was that Sandy sent me a video of a conversation about the power of silence. And actually, Oprah was moderating it. And then if you listen to it intently, you really can learn a lot from that. And we know how noisy. The chatter can be when you're experiencing grief, when you have this real deep loss. There's so many chatter boxes going at the same time, so many voices, so many things, but the power that is in the silence. Just stop and you could hear it, whatever it is you need to hear. And so we did have a conversation about the power of silence. And I said to Sandy, it requires us to take a step back,
Mhm.
and the way you get to that silence is to listen. And so
Absolutely. It's
yeah.
a powerful subject. I believe it's one of the most powerful subjects I've come across in a long time
Hmm.
because there's so many things in that power of silence.
Hmm.
Trina mentioned about when you're going through a grief process, there's a lot of internal and external conversations going on. You're having a lot of conversations within yourself, and you're
Hmm.
having a lot of voices and opinions around you.
Hmm.
And in that, your thoughts can get very confusing,
Hmm.
and what you're trying to listen for and what you're trying to hear can be very muffled because there's really not a lot of clarity when there's a lot of information at one time being downloaded, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so when I stumbled upon this video and it was talking about silence and being able to hear what you're missing. And so when you quiet the mind and when you quiet your space, meaning shutting it all off and all down, you get to hear things you might not normally hear.
Hmm.
Like when you go outside, I don't normally hear the trees and the wind and the birds. It's only when I'm intentionally listening that I can hear those things. But
Hmm.
those things are going on all day, every day.
Hmm.
So I think our point is to be intentional.
Be intentional. Right. And listen. Like, one of the things that I was thinking about is how some of that chatter is before the loss, right?
Hmm.
Whatever was going on, whatever the loss, whatever the plans, whatever you had going on
Right.
before the loss, and then, creating this new normal for yourself. And there's a lot of chatter going
Hmm.
on about that. And then, the chatter of what the future holds, or,
Right.
what's about to happen, and what will happen. And so all of those things colliding at once can be real, real loud in
Hmm.
your thoughts, in your mind. And so, like you said, the wind, like, stop for a minute and listen to the wind. It can be very loud. But I thought also silence itself can be very loud. If
Yes.
you just quiet for a minute. I know I've seen over the years just different exercises. They have breathing exercises where they tell you this, you know, clear your mind. I personally don't think there is a reality to clearing your mind. Your mind is always working,
Hmm.
but you can listen. And if you may not be able to clear your mind completely, but you can stop, shut everything down,
Hmm.
and really listen. And listen for the hope, like we talked about last week.
Right.
Listen for what's to come. And you can always listen too. If you just have a listening exercise, you can listen for, not just what you lost, but what you gained in
Right.
that relationship that is no more. Listen for those happy moments too.
Hmm.
Quiet is loud.
It is loud, and I it made me stop and think about what what it can do for me. And
Mm,
I think in my silence, I have discovered a part of me that I didn't know existed. because you're constantly busy, you're constantly moving,
Mm-hmm.
work, family, friends, whatever it is, your life is filled with all these things you're juggling. But when I first lost my husband and I went through the grieving process, and I don't think it ever goes away, I still think I grieve. But as I've gone through this process, I do believe there's a part of me when I kind of pushed everyone back and allowed myself to spend some time with myself in
Mm-hmm.
silence. I've
Mm-hmm.
learned so much about me that I wasn't aware of.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned things that I like about me, and
Mm-hmm.
there's some things I don't so much like about me,
Right.
but it brought me so much awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just so many things that can come from being still and being silent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do think that, there's a passage in the Bible that talks about how, you know, go ahead and weep. Go
Hmm.
ahead and cry.
Yes.
And that it does say that joy will come in the morning. And I mean, you can find joy
Hmm.
in the silence. It just gives me this thought of, if you all have seen how when a dog has a bone and he will dig for it and dig for it and dig for it, and I'm suggesting to you that just look for something
Yes.
hopeful, dig for it, dig for the
Yes.
joy, right? Just find something in that, and if you in that day you don't feel like it, just be quiet
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
watch how some things, just your perspective will change
Right.
about the past, the right now, and the future. I just see it as an exercise that has to happen eventually. And if it doesn't, you will run, you will stay busy,
Hmm.
but you're running and busy from yourself.
This is so true. And I think that this is something that's good for all of us, whether you're grieving or not. I think that just discovering new thoughts and ideas that you have tucked away that you're probably thinking, maybe there was an idea that you had once a long time ago. Being in that silence can help you rediscover things that might have been in the back of your mind, or discover new things that have
Hmm.
might not even come up for you.
Hmm.
But there's so much power in it. And even responding to people that are toxic, or people that really don't serve a positive purpose in your life,
Hmm.
learning how to be silent and not respond to that, burning that energy. So,
Hmm.
do you see what I mean, Trina?
Hmm.
Like that
Yes, yes,
silence can just, it's a big blanket. It
yeah.
covers a lot.
It covers a lot. I like that.
Hmm.
It's a big blanket. I like that. I like that. It can cover a lot,
Hmm.
right? That silence, and again, how loud it is. But there's some things to look for in your silence
Yes,
too, right? Look for peace. It is there.
it is there.
Look for hope
Yes.
in your silence. It's there too. Um, here's an exercise. We're gonna do an exercise of, and that is to just be quiet. It is not an easy exercise. So Sandy and I, we're going to show you what 4 seconds of silence looks like. And that's four. And you had to sit there and watch us just be quiet for 4 seconds. It's long. And what I was thinking about was the 4 seconds, right? And when to stop, right? And so Sandy closed her eyes and just absorbed the 4 seconds.
I did. I was actually thinking about my breathing in and out for the 4 seconds, just physically thinking of every air coming in and every air going out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's helpful, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
find it to be very useful.
yeah.
And if you can't find the 4 seconds, take 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But we hope you take much longer than that for yourself, because you are worth it and you need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's healthy. It's something that I think we talked about previously in a segment. We have to take care of ourselves first before we can take care of those around us that we
Mm-hmm.
love.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be good to ourselves. And so take the time, find the silence, and We can't wait to hear what your feedback is on this. I think it's a great subject.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
remember, if this is a video that you've enjoyed and you would like to share it with others, that it might be helpful to them, we would certainly appreciate that.
And listen for the hope in the future. Just take a moment and listen in your quietness. And that's probably it for today.
I think that's it for today. So, friends, we thank you for joining us. We certainly appreciate you trusting us with being transparent. And remember, don't forget to find your lighthouse.
Because it'll help you find your way out of the darkness.
Until next time.
All right, bye-bye.